All right. So, what do you guys think? Chinese EVs coming to Canada. You guys excited?
I
Yeah,
am
You are? Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Why?
I think it's a change. It's absolutely a change, and with this change, I feel like it has yet to hit Canadians, and when it does, we will know.
I was looking at some YouTube videos. My God, I can't lie. Some of
yeah.
those vehicles look pretty darn sick. Like,
Hmm.
I heard some of them are as low as 10 grand. I know those aren't the top end ones, but it looks like some things that you pay like 25, 30,000. It's better than the Teslas, especially the entry level one. And you go to the $50,000 range, and you're getting stuff that looks out of this world for like half the price, better than what the Tesla Model X's are. What do you think, Noah?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen of them, they've got their advantages and disadvantages, but a lot of the advantages outweigh that. You mentioned the cost being super affordable. One thing they're also doing is using a different kind of battery than the traditional nickel cobalt. That's supposed to potentially allow up to like 400, 500 kilometers of range on 10 to 15 minutes of charge. They also talked about the possibility of being able to swap that battery out for fully charged ones in a matter of minutes at a charging station. So instead of
That
even
was
waiting for
crazy.
that.
When I
Yeah.
saw that,
Yeah.
like, I think some of them are like 3 to 5 minutes. I'm like, how is that
Yeah.
possible?
It's incredible.
Oh.
And
And I think it takes you longer. It takes you about like 6, 7 minutes to, like, let's say 5, 6 minutes to fill up a tank of gas. So it's actually faster than filling up a tank of gas. And some of the ranges, I've seen some that were like 850 miles, which is like
Oh my
1,300
god.
kilometers, right? So you can pretty much go from here to New York City and maybe halfway back when you want to charge.
exactly, yeah. And one of the slights on it was that they're not supposed to be as potentially good with those batteries for the colder weather that we see here in Canada. That said, though, like just as you were saying, right, when you have that kind of range, and we are continuing to see that shift into the smaller, more efficient vehicle than the bigger, less efficient vehicle, it's definitely an interesting proposition.
Well, I'm gonna laugh because I own an EV, and I have a bit of buyer's remorse in this conversation
No
because,
way.
imagine
Everyone I
that.
know, or not everyone, most people I know, they're like, as soon as they buy an EV, they go around telling everyone how it's the greatest thing since
Well,
sliced
I
bread.
did initially, but I've done my homework, as you guys have all known, with in terms of the Chinese market,
Yeah.
and yeah, and there's some really good product out there. What I'm just a little bit kind of like disappointed is that what I purchased to what's out there is like it's like no comparison.
Hmm.
As you said, there's the range extenders. There's actual Chinese vehicles that you can add gas. It's not a combustible engine. It just charges the car longer.
Right.
So it does the $900 to $1,300 cap. There's the swap out battery, which the car is only worth like $8,000. It looks like a BMW Mini,
Wow.
but you pay it and then you pay like a monthly fee, and you're continuing to swap out batteries. While I own a certain vehicle, Ford Mustang, that is like it's good, but I think that it'll actually probably make the whole market much more competitive, and I don't think it's a hindrance. I'm looking forward to it because I'm probably gonna buy one myself.
Do you want a blue Mustang?
I have a black one.
Okay. I
Yeah.
can see you in a blue
The
Mustang.
Mach,
One of my
the
neighbors have a blue
oh
Mustang,
the Mach-E, yeah,
like the EV,
yeah,
right?
that's what I have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, and that was something I was seeing too. Is where we have the traditional charging station now is having something where instead of pulling up to the station and plugging in and waiting, you have that membership where you
Yep.
you go to that station for a new battery. You leave the old one, you take the new one, and you just keep going.
That's how they do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, would they have that in Canada? Probably not
they have
immediately.
Yeah,
testing
they'd
ones
have
already.
to
There's a
add the
testing one.
infrastructure. Yeah.
So there's a testing one where you can basically, just like you said, it's just like almost like an oil change.
Mhm.
You pull in, a machine drops it out, another machine puts it in, and you drive off. Yeah, of course, but that's what everybody's looking at. What the problem is with this climate is the range anxiety.
Hmm.
I mean, I could go and I'm always kind of keeping an eye on where am I going, how far am I going, and how much charge I have. So with the new ones, you don't have to. It eliminates that fear, that anxiety.
Yeah, and that's the same part of it too, right? When you're dropping the range in cold weather, you're not pulling off that much sooner for 20-minute stops or 30-minute charge stops. If you can get that battery in and out of there in 3 minutes, right? You had 3 stops, you're 15 minutes. Right?
Yeah,
Right. But then with the range, you might not even need 3 stops,
Exactly.
right?
yeah.
Exactly.
It already sounds. It's not even. I mean, it's coming. It hasn't arrived yet, but it already sounds so empowering.
Hmm.
I am just anticipating what actually will happen when it's here and the supply.
You think I'm overhyped like the way, because everyone's talking about it. Everyone's telling us $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 price tags, and a lot of those prices are USD, right? So it might go to $40,000, $50,000.
I no, actually, because I think like it's direct to market, like Tesla. So there's not going to be like these big brick and mortar dealerships. They're going to be like smaller, like order direct.
Yeah, but this is Canada. They're gonna charge you tariffs or
will.
taxes.
Yeah.
And
Well, the benefit on that, and what's bringing some of this in, is that they dropped that 100% tariff on those Chinese
6%.
EVs down to 6%.
oh, really?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
dropped it
that's-
from 100 to
that was
6.
part of the
Yeah,
deal.
yeah, that's a big pretty influential part of
That's
it,
gonna
right?
impact.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
time. And where, I like it in the traditional sense is if they do come to fruition and the hype is warranted, and the early adopters don't kind of,
I
screw
won't
themselves
lie.
over.
Sorry to know,
Yeah.
but I've already actually kind of signed up for the Reeker 8. If you guys
Oh,
are listening.
wow.
Right.
go.
Yeah.
You
So,
guys
so
are
what
out
are some of the
there.
brands? So I know there's the phone manufacturer
There's-
Huawei.
Yeah,
the
Huawei and
Huawei.
then Neo and
Neo is one. I actually looked at a few videos. Avatar is another one.
The Reeker,
yeah.
REEKER. If
Okay,
anybody wants
okay.
That's
to
a lot of
Puma.
K's.
Yeah, but there's a
Lucid
lot of
or There was another one.
yeah, it was
Not
something
Lucid.
like
Lucid
that.
is
Joe
looking great.
Swing. There's something called Loose Swing or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
There's a
and some
ton
of
of
the
them out
Neo
there.
looks pretty awesome. Actually, I'm like I already penciled one of the ones I'm interested in. Like, I'll probably go with the 7-seat one.
Yeah.
But the prices and the features, my goodness, they
Yeah.
are like out of this world.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
well, and
Unbelievable.
that's something I'd be excited about too. If they do come to fruition, and if that hype is warranted,
Yeah.
you then have that secondary effect of if those Chinese EVs come in and they're the best thing since sliced bread, then those other EV manufacturers are gonna have to catch up,
Yeah.
and you start
They
getting better
will.
products from everybody.
That's
Yeah.
the hopeful. That's the
Yeah,
hopeful.
exactly. I know competition is usually good for the consumer, right? Now, 6%
Yeah.
charging the tariffs. What is it? There's tariffs or taxes?
Tariffs.
Tariffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how much are Japanese cars paying? Like regular, not EVs,
Like
just
Honda, Toyota.
yeah.
I don't think they're actually paying them because remember they made that deal to build their plants in like there's an
Ah.
Orangeville,
Yeah.
so
Okay,
they have that
that's-
gray area to get them in.
Okay.
But they were just
They do.
scared, like Ford and all those guys at the time for Chinese EVs to come in. They said put out tax on them like the states,
Mhm.
but now they're realizing, maybe an open market might actually ignite the economy too. Right?
Yeah.
So
I was in UAE, in Dubai, a few months ago, 2 months ago, a month and a half actually. I wish I was there now with the sun, which we'll be talking about a little bit later in our pod. But I was renting a car, and then I kept on seeing this company called Geely. That's another one. I'm like, oh, and I didn't realize it was Geely. I thought it was Greeley. Like I just saw it, and then so I'm like, Greeley, must be a British brand. They seem pretty low. Like prices were low. Like
Yeah.
all of the
Yeah.
compared to everything else, it was just lower, right? Like if another SUV was like say $500, it would be like $350 or whatever the case is. I'm like, because if you go to Europe or Middle East or Asia, they have car brands that aren't in Canada.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be one of those brands that don't appear in Canada. There must be British, must be European or something like that. And I went later to find out it's a Chinese brand, and I'm like, what?
Wow.
They've had Chinese brands seems like for a bit. I don't know if it's for multiple years, but definitely more than a few months. There's, I think, Australia have adopted the Chinese cars. From what I understood, one of the earliest ones in the Western world. So
Yeah.
not that they're
actually,
West.
I had
they're-
read that too, but
yeah.
but yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
we gotta
interesting.
get in we gotta
Adaptation
jump.
is the new era that we are in.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's only gonna go up from here.
Yeah. Well,
There's no
that's-
going back.
Yeah, and it goes back to what Kurt was saying, right? There was the concern that these come in and they kind of kick butt, and suddenly you
Exactly.
have other plants
Yes.
with jobs that are getting lost. But then you also have the other side of that, which is they come in, they bring competition, and then those other manufacturers have to get better.
Exactly.